Hey guys, Bird here. Welcome back to another episode of what is now 3-minute teachings. As per request by most of you guys, I'll be extending the duration of the episodes to 3 minutes instead of 2. This way I can fit in a few more details and give you guys a more thorough explanation. This time we'll be talking about initial team fights. So there's many ways to play out a team fight. The two main categories are passively or aggressively. Playing an initial team fight aggressively is very much how it sounds, pushing into the enemy before they can get good positions and oftentimes finding flank routes to catch them off guard. Usually when doing this you want to play it with a more aggressive champion, like Makoa, Androxus, Eevee, and so on. To be successful in this method, you need to have the right target priority. Making sure you take out their healer and anti-flank champions will help you dismantle their team. Just do your best to ignore the tanks while this takes place. Deal with them once their teammates are dead. Passive fights, on the other hand, are much more about positioning, covering angles, and slowly wearing down your opponent. This type of fight is usually done when you have more damage champions and less flankers. Generally speaking, when doing this, you should try to get positions around the point. The enemy flankers are going to be looking for an early kill in order to break up your team, just as we stated in the aggressive fight explanation. So it's up to you to cover as many angles as possible while still capping the point at the same time. This method is most successful when you have two tanks especially. While one tank can position themselves between the flankers and your damage dealers, the other tank can cap the point. This way the other team is pressured into making a play as quick as possible to get you off the point, so they can get control of the point themselves. This is a much more passive playstyle and can be very hard to pull off at times. It takes a lot of experience knowing what the flankers are going to do. On top of the teamfight playstyle, there's also what I like to call your numbers. This doesn't necessarily apply to every team fight, and some esports teams really don't do it at all. But generally speaking, at higher end play, you'll see teams fall into a pattern of putting certain players in designated positions, with each player representing a number. The easiest way to do it is by splitting the map into 3 major sections: left, right, and middle. Using this, we can now formulate a pretty easy to follow pattern. There's 113, 401, 212, and plenty more. The most common number you'll see is 221, with the typical team composition being 2 tanks, 1 flanker, and 1 blaster damage, along with a support. You'll see the 221 start a lot of the time. 1 tank and 1 DPS go right, 1 tank and the support go through the middle, while the flanker or blaster covers left and sometimes even flanks all the way through. Using these numbers, you can easily understand what everyone on your team is doing quickly, and gives you a good idea of what you yourself needs to be doing at the start of every fight. Just make sure you don't get too comfortable doing the same start each time, or your opponents might end up catching on. Hopefully this helps you both as an individual player and potentially even a team. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment below suggesting what area I should cover next. I'll see you next time.